Hey, it's great to be with you today. I want to share a brief update about the Revive Collective, and then I want to share a bit of a prophetic piece with you. But first, some thoughts about the Revive Collective, which is our family, our network of leaders, and all the kind of resources we have for leaders here at Revive. We shifted the name from Revive Network to Revive Collective a little while ago, but I want you to understand, if you're part of the Revive Collective, we are here for you 100% as good friends, to support you in leadership, to minister in your churches if that helps, to connect over coffee, to advise. There's a whole team at Revive Church, and we just exist to support and encourage you. And of course, it's very much a family, so it's all about, once you join, you become an encourager too. So it's all about encouraging one another, iron sharpens iron, running in the things of God. So remember, be in touch, connect with other people in the collective, and it's still very early days for the collective. It's quite small, and we still are. It's been difficult under COVID, of course, the last little while, but we're still developing better and better ways to connect. And I want you to remember too, the Revive Collective is not open just for pastors and senior pastors of churches. It's also for artists and itinerants and missionaries and kingdom business people, kingdom influencers that want to bring influence, let's say, into areas like medicine or business or government. Media. We want to be a place where people meet and connect and grow in the things of God. We are absolutely cheering your success. So get in touch. If you're interested in joining, head to revivechurch.co.uk and look at the section about the Revive Collective. It's really easy to join. It's really easy to leave. We're just a family that just want to help you, whether that's for a long season or for your whole life or for a short season. We just want to inspire revival and inspire kingdom growth. Right, 5 little things that I want to tell you about. Number 1, refresh leaders forums like this. Of course, they're currently still online, but by September, we hope to be shifting to in-person. So listen out for those. That'll be a great place for you to meet other collective members and other leaders. I mean, the refresh leaders forums don't just have collective members in, they're just open to all leaders, and then some want to join the collective for the further resources that we can offer. But from September, we expect to be in person, which is going to be great, isn't it? I'm looking forward to that. An additional little thing is that from next month, from this month, should I say, from June, we are beginning to have a monthly leadership development time online, and we'll be joining as a collective with the Tribe, which is one of our online learning communities, and then with Revive Church leaders too. So those 3 groups are going to be coming together, and it's a time to learn and to keep growing in the things of God. We might do everything from how to preach and teach to dealing with thorny pastoral issues or thorny cultural issues right now, how to grow church, innovative ideas, what to do, what not to do, great guests and discussions and interviews. So once you join the collective, if you want to know about those, we'll be sending out the link every single month so that you can connect with us and join us on those Zooms easily from wherever you are. The third thing is, this autumn we've shifted our Spirit and Word Leaders Summit, which is our kind of day and a half to be together, usually a Tuesday and a Wednesday, Tuesday morning till Wednesday afternoon. We get a day and a half, great guest speakers, hole up in some hotel somewhere, eat well, meet God, great teaching, and hang out. That's been shifted several times under COVID. At the moment, it's the 12th to the 13th of October. And we're just holding off until there's the final signals from the government that all is going to be well. But we expect to be going ahead with that in the Mercure Hotel in Willoughby, just outside Hull. And I know lots of you are already booked in, but we expect, hopefully, to be able to release maybe another 40 places once lockdown officially comes to some kind of end and we know how many people we can get in the room legally and stuff like that. So look out for that. You won't find booking details on the website yet, just the details that it still is there, but soon booking will open once again for Spirit and Word in October. And the fourth thing is, we are going to be looking at more ways to deepen relationships and deepen connections, because that's the really important part of this, is unless we find ways to hang out together, not necessarily all as one big group, but find ways to connect, well, what's the point, right? If it's not true relationship, what's the point? So we're going to be looking at more and more of that. And then lastly, on the update piece, I want to tell you about something that some collective members are doing, which is really exciting. The 26th of June, Saturday the 26th of June, Bruce and Janine Dyer, who lead Love Life Church in Barnsley, have an event on the football ground that Bruce runs. He's an ex-pro footballer and he has an academy. And on that football ground, he is going to be running a fantastic day, 6 hours of prayer and worship and intercession called United We Stand. And drum roll, Martin Smith and his band are going to be there. Loads of the Revive people are going to be there. I'm going to be there. Chris and Andrew, our band, loads of our friends from around the country are going to be there. It's free to get in, but you've got to book and you've got to head to, where is it? lovelifeukchurch.co.uk and come and join us, at least for some of the incredible 6-hour event. There's going to be kids work and all sorts of stuff like that. So look out for that. lovelifeukchurch.co.uk. Get booked in and come and join us for 6 hours of prayer and praise and worship and unity and seeking God as we step into this new future together. All right, the 26th of June, it's going to be great. Right, let me share with you a little bit of a prophetic piece, try and leave you encouraged and excited about the future. I am excited. It's a little bit of a weird time, so let me kind of speak into that. I didn't like it when I first heard the prophets begin to say we're in a 3-year process. This was kind of last autumn, and I was like, oh, I don't want a 3-year process. But many different prophetic people have been saying it, and it's kind of proven to be true that actually what we've found ourselves in is a 3-year process. Last year, 2020, was the height, you could say, of the pandemic, or the pandemic coming onto the scene and everything being changed, this divine pause or the beginning of this divine reset happening. And then 2021 looks to be like it's recovery, it's cleanup, it's getting ready for the new era. And then 2022, we expect to be accelerating into the new era with God. And I just feel like, yeah, okay, that's what we're in. And we're right in the middle of that now, June 2021. And it's a bit of a strange time. I don't know about you. We are half creeping out of lockdown. We got loads going on online, and yet we've also got loads going on in person because everything has to be so spaced out that we've got meetings coming out of our ears for all ages. So it's a bit of an unusual time. And here's the thing, I don't know about you, I don't find ministry particularly satisfying at the moment. We really are serving the saints. But let me just share a few pieces for you as leaders as we serve the saints in this time. Hebrews 10:35 says this: don't throw away your confidence. Stay confident, be resilient, and be all that God has called you to be. Listen to this verse, Ephesians 1:4 in the Passion says this: in love, God chose us before he laid the foundation of the universe. Wow. In love, God chose you before he laid the foundation of the universe. Now, in the notes of the Passion, which I love to read because it really pulls it apart, one way you could translate this verse is to say, he chose us to be a word before the fall of the world. Listen to that again. God chose us to be a word before the fall of the world. You are a word from God to the world. Wow. And he chose us to be that word before the world was even formed. He thought, I'm going to release a Jarrod, a Chris, an Andrew, a Bruce, a Zach. I'm going to release a word to the world, and you're it. Just think of it. I love John 1. I've said this before, but let me say it again because it kind of fits. John 1 has got this line, in him, in God, was life. And the Passion Translation, again, in the study notes, tells us you can translate it, in God were many lives. Imagine that. Before the foundation of the world, your life was already in God. In him were many lives. And then at some point, he releases this word to the world that is your life. I love it where it says, John, a man sent from God. I think we can say that about you too. You have been sent from God. So you were a word chosen before the world began, a life in him before the world began. And then now you have been sent from God into the world for such a time as this. You are not some some small business leader worried about global markets or trends or what COVID does. You are a word from heaven and you have a task to do. We have something from heaven. So listen, the basis of my message today is have confidence in your call. Don't panic. Don't get twitchy. Be confident. Don't start to go, where's everybody gone? It's time for us to be confident in the thing that is the church and the kingdom of God, and to walk with God in confidence that, listen, this word that he sent into the world will not return void. No, I'm stepping into the world to do all that he wants me to do, and it is going to bear fruit. Might not be fruit like I planned, or fruit like I'd like, or fruit like I'd hoped, or fruit like I saw over in that ministry over there, but I am going to bear fruit because I am a life that's come from God. I am a word, a message that's come from God to bring change to this world. So listen, be confident in it. You are sent from God. You're not running some club worried about its members. We are the mighty people of God. So don't worry about your life. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about whether, because Jesus could do this in his short 3.5 years, couldn't he? He could worry that, well, the crowds are getting a bit big, or he could worry that the crowds have all disappeared. Who cares whether the fringe comes and goes? We'll know from God whether to leave them alone and they'll come home, or whether it's the moment to leave the 99 and go find the one. Just listen to God on that, but do not lose your confidence. Be mighty in what God's called you to be. Let me share with you 3 things that I think God is doing in this time. The first one's this. I was walking through the town of Beverley the other day, and these kind of prophetic words don't come to me often, really, but sometimes something happens and you go, oh, God just spoke to me through that. And I don't get that a lot, but I'm walking past a shop. A new shop is being fitted out in Beverley, and I'm walking past a lorry on the side of the road, and the marking on it is Bishopsgate. And then coming off the electronic there's pallets of stuff, and they're lifting it off, with a forklift, and then it's coming down on an electronic, I don't know what to call it, shelf at the back of the truck. And on this pallet, on the back of the truck, being unloaded, it just said on this huge box, and it was a huge box, the size of a pallet kind of cubed, it just said, glory. Glory. And God just said to me, I am unpacking glory in the back rooms of your life right now. I am unpacking glory in the back room of your life. And listen, at the moment, like I said a moment ago, ministry isn't very satisfying. I feel like we're serving the saints as we preach to masked people, and we can't quite sing properly, and we can't quite relax socially or hug each other, or most of us can't quite do refreshments in the way that we'd like. Heck, I can't even hire the venues I want to hire. It's such a difficult time. And so we're serving the saints through difficulty. But listen, while that is the front-facing part of the church, I believe in the back rooms of our lives and in the back rooms of our churches, God is unpacking a move of glory that is yet to come. And what I believe we're going to find is that this glory, a new move, begins to seep out into the public arena slowly. So keep going, because in the back room of your life, glory is being unpacked. A move of God, a manifestation of heaven is getting ready in the back rooms, and soon it's going to hit the public arena. So stay confident in this unsatisfying, very imperfect, wobbly time. Keep going. We're right in the middle of God's process. Here's the second thing that I feel God's saying, and this is a dream that Vicky had 2 nights ago. And in her dream, God said to her just these 2 words, Sabbath outpouring. 4 words, 2 phrases. Sabbath outpouring, no striving. I believe keeping away from striving in this season is really important. In this kind of unusual, unsatisfying time, we're on about 50% normal attendance turning up to things. Some things are just really hard to do and complex, aren't they? Relationships, communication even is really hard across the church, because you're used to having people together at least in one room or several rooms and being able to communicate. But it's hard to communicate right now. Everything feels very fractured and scattered. But listen, the temptation is to fix that by entering striving or panic or worry or I must do more. I believe the next outpouring is a Sabbath outpouring, an outpouring that comes from a place of rest. It's something that God wants to do more than we want him to do it. There's going to be an outpouring that comes to the seated saints, to the seated leaders, to the ones who are sat in their authority and relaxed in what God's called them to do. I believe we're going to see God begin to pour out, not because of the strivings or the manipulations of man, or because leaders manage to cross all their T's and dot all their I's, but because the grace of God is coming. There's an unpacking happening in the back rooms, and soon it's going to turn into a Sabbath outpouring. So the demand to you, leader, right now is don't click from the pause of lockdown suddenly and go the other way into striving. Walk in rest. Because the next move of God is a move of grace that's coming. Doesn't mean there won't be holiness and the fear of the Lord involved in it, but it's not going to come out of any striving on our part. Stay in rest and let the word do its work. You're a word from heaven. You don't need to strive. You are packed full of his authority. So don't strive. Don't be pressured internally by your own worry. Where have they gone? What can I do to hurry things up? No, just take your time with the processes of heaven. And here's the second thing. Don't be pressured externally. Others might come to you and they are wanting you to rush. They are wanting more to be done. They are wanting quicker answers. No, rest in the timings and the processes of heaven, because there's a Sabbath outpouring coming, and that means no striving. We are going to give God all the glory for what is about to happen. And then here's the third thing. So the first one is God's unpacking glory in the back rooms. The second one is Sabbath outpouring, no striving. Stay in the posture of rest and begin to walk at God's pace and let him finish his work, because we're only halfway through the process. We are still in unusual times. There'll be no rushing back to normal this summer. It's still a little bit more unusual than we think, in the sense of the unfolding of how churches are going to operate once again. And then number 3, so still take time to think and ponder and listen and innovate, because new ideas are still flowing from heaven. And we need to take time to hear them. The worry of entering into panic, frustration, worry, rush, or strive mode is that you begin to miss the voice of God, okay? Because what you begin to hear is the voice of your own anxiety. And instead of praying faith prayers, we pray panic prayers, or we make panic plans instead of faith plans. And they can be good plans, but they're born of the wrong place. Guard your heart, for out of it flow all the issues of life. So listen, remember, still take time not to be rushed and striving, but to think and to ponder, because there's still a lot of change going on. Myself and our team, we are working through probably 8 major strategic adjustments in how we operate as church right now, as well as landing 2 simultaneous building projects, one to rent in the short term while another one's being built. I mean, there's masses going on, and a bit of me just wants to strive and rush some things and get it over with, and I've got people wanting rushed answers, but I really feel from heaven, take your time, do it well. Actually, a lot of our people are still going to need some considerable healing and soothing from heaven. Okay, as well as grasping the opportunity of the harvest that there is right now. So somehow we've got to do all these things. The only way to do all of them is to not strive and trust that Jesus knows how to run his church. It is not the sum of all of our clever decisions and we strived and we made it happen. No, rest in God. Take time to think and ponder and to hear heaven still. I believe there's lots of churches that are moving in this time from here's a metaphor from classic warfare. Think like an army. They're shifting from classic warfare to guerrilla warfare, and so the actual methods and behaviors are changing, and that takes time to embed into a church. It takes time to think, to ponder, how does God want us to be as a church? And many are coming out of very different shape to how they went in. Won't be everybody, so don't feel guilty if it's not you. Don't think, oh, we should be innovating more. Trust that God will speak to you. You are a word from heaven. Don't throw away your confidence, okay? But many are shifting from classic warfare and the classic churchy behaviors. Big Sundays with certain departments that you all got to have, shifting over into, we're going to put a lot more energy into evangelism and collaboration, innovation and connecting, and even teaming up with other churches and other ministries. We're going to begin to behave differently because we want to maximize the fruit and maximize the use of our time and energy. That takes time to think through and to land with your group. So take your time and take them on the journey with you. I'll throw in a bit of advice too. Don't expect people to pick up on your new ideas in one time of presenting it when you've had 6 months to think about it. Give them the months too to adjust emotionally, to see the theology, the sociology, the psychology, everything that the prophecy of what God's saying and how you're shifting into a new season with God. So listen, think, pray, analyze, talk. Don't let others or your own heart pressure you into panic, wondering, are they coming back? Don't count bums on seats. Raise up disciples and deploy them. That's what we're really here to do. So leader, let's do the things we're really called to do. And hey, if the Revive Collective can help in any way, then head to revivechurch.co.uk and come join us. And let's be iron sharpening iron as we let God unpack glory in the back rooms, as we trust him for a Sabbath outpouring where there's no striving, a move of God again in the nation. And two, as we give time to listen to the innovative voice of heaven. God bless you. Talk to you next time at our next Refresh Leaders Forum.